Hello and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering EDH deck tech idea. Today we are taking a look at Teval, the Balanced Scale. It is a 4 mana 4/4 with flying and 2 very useful triggered abilities. First of all, whenever Teval attacks, mill 3 cards. Then you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Furthermore, whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. This commander enables all of its triggered abilities by himself, and he also helps us to enable the rest of our game plan. We wanna play a bunch of cards that make us play cards from our graveyard or are able to be cast from our graveyard to create an army of 2/2 black zombie druid creature tokens and simply outvalue our opponents as fast as possible and swing them down either with combat damage, Teval in the air, or other ways how we can drain them down. Not only does Teval ramp him by himself with his attack trigger, but due to the fact that we are in Sultai colors, we can also use very powerful spells to accelerate our mana base. For example, Growth Spiral, a 2 mana instant, draw a card, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. We play Head Shredder, a 4 mana 5/5, and whenever it attacks, you may mill 2 cards. We also play it for its other triggered ability, because whenever one or more land cards are put into your graveyard from your library, put them onto the battlefield tapped. Which means that if Teval hits several lands with its attack trigger while the Head Shredder is on the battlefield, we will get all of those lands back to the battlefield, which can create a huge mana advantage. We wanna fire off Planar Genesis, a 2 mana instant. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't, put a card from among them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Another useful enchantment is Undergrowth Reckon, a 3 mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Another great creature is World Shaper, a 4 mana 3/3, and whenever it attacks, you may mill 3 cards. When it dies, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. The same effect on a sorcery comes from Splendid Reclamation, a 4 mana sorcery. Return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Once Teval is on the battlefield, we want to play cards from our graveyard, which is why we play Walk-in Closet and Forgotten Cellar. Walk-in Closet allows us to play our lands from our graveyard, and once we unlock Forgotten Cellar, it enables the following mechanic. When you unlock this door, you may cast spells from your graveyard this turn, and if a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere other this turn, exile it instead. Walk-in Closet enables us in our early to mid game, and Forgotten Cellar can lead to a finishing blow in one turn. We play 6, a 3 mana 2/4 with reach, and whenever it attacks, mill 3 cards. You may put a land card from among them into your hand. Furthermore, as long as it's your turn, non-land permanent cards in your graveyard have retrace. That means that you can cast them from your graveyard. In addition to the other costs, you also have to discard a land card. We play Conduit of Worlds, a 4 mana artifact, and you may play lands from your graveyard. You can also tap it and choose target non-land permanent card in your graveyard. If you haven't cast a spell this turn, you may cast that card. If you do, you can't cast additional spells this turn. Another great instant speed spell is Grapple with the Past, a 2 mana instant. Mill 3 cards, then you may return a creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. A flexible and useful enchantment is Glacierwood Siege, a 3 mana enchantment, and as it enters, choose Temur or Sultai. If you choose Temur, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, target player mills 4 cards. And if you choose Sultai, you may play lands from your graveyard. As we do play a bunch of cards that allow us to play our lands from our graveyard, we can pretty often choose Temur with this card to either mill us to enable our Wincon, or mill our opponents if we need to. Another really cool card is Lie in Wait, a 3 mana sorcery, which says return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Then Lie in Wait deals damage equal to that card's power to target creature. And now let's talk about our Wincons. We play Colossal Grave Reaver, an 8 mana 7/6 with flying, and whenever this creature enters or attacks, mill 3 cards. Furthermore, whenever one or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from your library, put one of them onto the battlefield. I'm a big fan of Avenger of Zendikar in this deck, a 7 mana 5/5, and when it enters, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each land you control. Furthermore, whenever a land you control enters, you may put a 1/1 counter on each plant land creature you control. One of my favorite Golgari cards in this deck is Gerard, Golgari Lichlord, a 4-mana 2/2, and it gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. Its activated ability can definitely win you the game because for 3 mana and sacrificing another creature, each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. He's also really hard to get rid of because you can sacrifice a swamp in a forest to return it from your graveyard to your hand. In combination with Gerard, we play Lord of Extinction, a 5-mana XX, and this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in all graveyards. To create even more mana advantage, we play Kero Goldkeeper, a 4-mana 3/3 with flying, and whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard during your turn, create a treasure token. You can also renew this card by paying 5 mana and exiling it from your graveyard to put 2 +1/+1 counters and a flying counter onto target creature. An unbelievable strong card in this deck is Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, a 3-mana 6/6, and it sacrifices itself unless it escaped. Furthermore, whenever it enters or attacks, you gain 3 life, draw a card, and then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. You can escape this card by paying 4 mana and exiling 5 other cards from your graveyard, which should be pretty easy for us as you fill up your graveyard all the time. You want to win more? You get it. Due to the fact that Teval creates a bunch of creature tokens whenever cards leave our graveyard, and he also puts additional lands into play, we play Field of the Dead, a land that enters the battlefield tapped, which can make a colorless mana, and whenever it or another land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, which is very easy in our land base, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Another card that we want to have in our graveyard is Wander, a 4-mana 2/2 with flying, and as long as this card is in your graveyard and you control an island, creatures you control have flying. Either the zombie tokens from Field of the Dead or the druid tokens from Teval are only 2/2s. We would like to give them some evasion, as at some point our opponents will most likely have enough blockers to block all of those 2/2s. As we create a huge army of tokens, which goes really wide, we also play Craterhoof Behemoth, an 8-mana 5/5 with haste, and when this creature enters, creatures you control gain trample and +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control, which will be our final overrun effect. And another must-played card in this deck is Insidious Roots, a 2-mana enchantment. Creature tokens you control have tap at 1 mana of any color. In addition to that, whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 0/1 green plant creature token, then put a 1/1 counter on each plant you control. This card synergizes really well with Avenger of Zendikar and gives us a huge mana advantage with all of our tokens that we create due to Teval. Alright guys, these were a few cards that I would play in Teval, the balanced scale. Let me know which cards you would add to the deck, which legendary creature I shall feature next. Make sure to check out my full deck list in the notes below, and then I would say see you on the next one. Goodbye guys.